life and me communicating. Of course, I had to leave, go somewhere, and I had some business to take care of. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Tyler Perry. Many people are speaking up and speaking out about Tyler Perry and what's being talked about. Okay, so let me go back. Let me go ahead and do my disclaimer. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys for being here. Okay, so many people are talking about Tyler Perry, but let's get to the disclaimer. All comments are alleged. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Come on in. We're generally going to talk about Tyler Perry and what's being talked about and what's happening. Right now, I'm hearing different media sources, and I found it very interesting that one of the major media sources did not post about Tyler Perry. Found that kind of interesting. I said, okay, maybe they just haven't got to it. Okay. And then I'm hearing in regards to TMZ putting out in regards to the lawsuit and how they got the lawsuit. They did a breakdown of the lawsuit. And then I'm hearing Don Lemon and Jason Lee talking about the lawsuit. And again, I get it. Many people are feeling like anybody could try and file a lawsuit. And it's concerning that you can file a lawsuit and people are responding. His name is trending. Now, when we look at the messages, like I said before with anything, Tyler Perry's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. A judge, jury is going to have to decide if there's any wrongdoing. But it seems as if Tyler Perry wants to move forward with this lawsuit and he's not just going to do a payout. Okay. So I'm listening to Jason Lee and I'm listening to Jason Lee and Don Lemon. Then I was listening to Don Lemon and Charles from TMZ. So of course TMZ put the lawsuit out. We get that. Okay, cool. I'm listening to them talk about the case. And in regards to Charles had said something interesting. And hear me when I say this. Charles had said something in regards to, it's interesting how the allegations came out, how the messages are out, and we can't confirm or deny if that's Tyler Perry's messages. I'm going to just say that up front too. We can't confirm or deny that because you could literally change a person's name in when you create a contact. But Charles has said something interesting. Normally when a person is pursuing a person and you get rejected, it's not often that the person backs away. That's false, Charles. If this man and Tyler had been texting back and forth, the man had made it very clear he's not interested. When Charles was saying from TMZ, and he has a right to have his opinion. I'm not knocking it. But it's interesting when he said in other cases that he's known, when somebody's pursuing someone physically near them, by them, they don't often back away. Yes, they will. Tyler Perry is a billionaire. If a person is not interested, it is Tyler Perry's responsibility to back away because he's a billionaire. He knows, allegedly, if this is true or false. We can't confirm or deny. This is just our opinion. We can't confirm or deny if this what's being put out about Tyler is real or fake. But it's interesting when Charles said in most cases that he's seen, Charles from TMZ, in most cases that he's seen, go listen to Don Lemon and Charles speak. Most cases that they've seen, the person will continue to pursue and sometimes they won't stop. It's a good thing that Tyler did stop, but did Charles hear what was said? And if this is true, if this rings true, this is two people that said they were around Tyler or near Tyler. They stayed in a guest house. They wake up from being intoxicated. They wake up and he's in the bed. This is alleged the second time, because go back and listen to what Christian Key said. Why are you in the bed, sir, if these allegations ring true? Why are you in the bed, sir, if somebody is intoxicated, you're next to them? Why are you in the bed with them? That in itself is a concerning issue. Now, we need to find out why that people are staying in his guest house. And why are people getting so intoxicated that they need to stay in his guest house? Okay? That's interesting to me. I'm not going to get so intoxicated I need to stay at anybody's house. I'm a Uber myself home. I'm a Uber myself, happy self, somewhere near a friend. I'm not going to stay at my boss's house intoxicated. That's a concern too. This is the second time we've heard that somebody was intoxicated and they stayed at his crib, alleged. These are alleged allegations. This is the second time we're hearing that somebody stayed in the guest house and he allegedly was in the bed. So we can't confirm or deny. A judge jury is going to have to decide if that's true. It's interesting how when Mr. Dixon presented his case, there were so many similarities to Christian. And if this is what was alleged, and if this is ringing true, and this is how he pursues people, that in itself is concerning. Okay, let me see y'all comments. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, blank screen, because I'm out and about. Yeah, I'm out and about right now. But I had to do this video. Blank screen, yes. But I had to do this video. So I want you to go over to Don's page, listen to what Don Lemon said about and Charles said from TMZ, what they said about the case. A lot of people are struggling putting out that this is happening to Tyler. Like I told y'all, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, he was doing a major press tour for one of his movies that's doing extremely well on Netflix. So he's on a press tour. Tyler probably knows that this is probably going to be a lawsuit. It was just recently filed. But then let's go to Don Lemon and Jason Lee. I get what Jason Lee is saying. It's interesting how some of these billionaires find themselves in these lawsuits, and some of them feel that it's frivolous. Do y'all feel it's frivolous? Let's get into the amount that he wants, and then we're going to talk about if it's frivolous or not. The lawsuit, Mr. Dixon is requesting $260 million. A lot of lawsuits, you're going to go high, and then you may get an alleged settlement. That's up to the person if they want to settle with you or not. But you got to realize Mr. Dixon is going to have to pay his lawyers. So say, for instance, he gets 260. A lot of that's going to go to the lawyers who's taken this case as I don't think they're charging Mr. Dixon. I think they took the case on and they're feeling that like they can win the case. So the 260 million, a lot of people have a problem with. How are you stating the messages that's being sent, alleged rub on the leg, but there's other allegations in regards to pulling down of pants? So that's a concern. If this did happen, who's to say, or why should a person say what a person's lawsuit should be and the amount that it should be? A person should be able to file the lawsuit, whatever it's going to be, because you got to remember, lawyers are going to be draining and they're going to charge you. So if he feels that it has to be 260 million, he may only get maybe 200. But if the allegations ring true, because we can't confirm or deny, wonder if he gets 200. The lawyer's going to take a portion of that. Okay, many people are saying he's an actor that was given a little bit more money than other actors. So other actors are going to respond to that too. Hey, Tyler, why are you paying him XYZ money, but you only paid me XYZ? So many of the actors are going to respond. Let's get this in too. Tyler Perry recently did a video this week, and he's singing, smiling, sitting on his porch, saying everybody just calm down. And I get it. But the allegations, we don't know if we can't confirm or deny if they're true or false. We can't confirm or deny if this situation happened. It's just interesting in regards to the text chain. Okay, so Tyler Perry met him in 2018 or 19. I want to say it was 19. It was one of those. Tyler Perry remember when he went to Joel Osteen's church and he was on the podium speaking? And this man is telling you, I'm a Christian. I'm not trying to go that route. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to do that with you, dude. I'm interested in something else. And remember how Christian Keys had stated what he was interested in. And people were like, okay, Christian Keys. Go back and look at the video. I think there was a post and delete in regards to Christian Keys. But if this rings true, this is another concern about a millionaire billionaire putting themselves in a situation where a person that is an employee that can complain. So let's go to workplace conduct. Do they not have an HR department? Do they not have a union? Who could this person have gone to say, hey, I'm getting messages. Sometimes I'm responding. Sometimes I'm not. It's unwelcoming. If you read the messages, it's also being reported that Tyler's telling Mr. Dixon, when you get on the set in regards to the movie, act like you don't know me, even though I'm texting you. Even though I'm texting you, act like you don't know me. Don't tell people I'm giving you more money than I'm giving them. You can't tell people I'm paying you more, because people are going to look at your resume in regards to you being an actor, and they may have more years under their belt, and I'm paying you XYZ. Because Tyler wanted to create the distance, allege, because we can't confirm and deny if the messages are true or false. But Tyler wanted to create a distance in regards to act like you don't know me, even though I'm texting you. Don't tell people I'm giving you more money. Don't tell people how I met you. So that's interesting in itself. Then what's being alleged, wrote the Oval. Well, he was in Ruthless, allege. Yeah, he was in Ruthless. Then there was the script in regards to Oval. So people are saying how Tyler portrayed that actor in Oval, and then hovering over their head that if I basically don't get what I want or need, I can take you off the Oval. And, you know, if people allegedly don't comply, you can be removed from what you're, working with me. They say in certain situations, and I can't confirm or deny, he has helped a lot of people become millionaires, but they say that it's definitely a controlling environment. They say it's definitely a controlling environment, but he does help a lot of people. He's very kind. Don Lemon has said that he recalls receiving messages, and, Tyler has a sense of humor, but Don Lemon had said that it wasn't anything that was, out of the pocket. Many people are saying they know him, but they're not close to him. Now, we know who Tyler's close to. So let's get to some video. Cause I probably, let's get to some video. But it's interesting that Tyler is going through this, and there's different allegations. And what will it do to his career? Will people look at him the same way? If he's telling people calm down, everything's going to be okay. But when we look at what's happening in regards to the diddler, are these millionaires, billionaires being respectful to their employees? Do they feel that they can get away with X, Y, or Z and it'll never be found out? That in itself is a concern. Employees should be respected. They should not have to feel that they're going to be, that their boss is going to flirt with them. That's unacceptable. There is an issue in regards to some of these millionaire billionaires in regards to workplace conduct. So there's no HR department Mr. Dixon could have went to. There's no union. They don't have a union. Why not go to the police and state what you're experiencing and file a complaint? Many people are filing the lawsuits. So he's not trying to criminally allege charge. So we're going to get to this clip to break down what's going on, okay? Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Yes, I know the screen is black. I'm at an appointment. Those messages. Those messages are concerning if it is him.
Sexual battery, sexual assault, negligent retention, intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Hold on, they're going over.
Let's get into this lawsuit.
They're going over. Hold on.
This case arises from a sustained pattern of workplace sexual. The civil suit. Quid pro quo sexual harassment, work environment sexual harassment, workplace gender violence, violation of the Bain Act, a California law that protects against violation of someone's civil rights through force or coercion, sexual battery, sexual assault, negligent retention, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and retaliation. Let's get into this lawsuit. The complaint starts off by saying, quote, this case arises from a sustained pattern of
fair use reaction clip. Let's continue. Like the video as you guys come in. Don't forget to subscribe. Yes, I know the screen is black. I'm actually at an appointment, but I needed to go live and do this Tyler Perry information to keep you guys in the loop because certain celebrities are trying to stick up for Tyler and they're hoping that what's being talked about isn't true. They're acting like a person can flirt with a person. Flirt with, but you can't touch people. I shouldn't be waking up in no guest room. Why are people waking up in the guest room? I should be waking up in no guest room. Maybe there was an event for, the people on the Oval. Why are people waking up at an event? You're in the guest room and he's in the bed, alleged. Let's continue.
Workplace sexual harassment, assault, and retaliation perpetrated by Tyler Perry, a powerful media mogul, against plaintiff Derek Dixon, a professional actor and screenwriter. Mr. Perry is an American actor, filmmaker, and playwright who has built one of the most successful careers in the film and television industry. Mr. Perry took his success and power and used his considerable influence in the entertainment industry to create a coercive, sexually exploitive dynamic with Mr. Dixon, initially promising him career advancement and creative opportunities, such as producing his pilot and casting him in his show, only to subject him to escalating sexual harassment, assault, and battery, and professional retaliation when Mr. Dixon did not reciprocate Mr. Perry's unwanted.
Like the video. Hold on.
These events occurred.
Fair use reaction clip. Like I said, he's innocent until proven guilty. A judge jury's going to have to decide. A judge jury's going to have to decide if there's any wrongdoing. We're just relaying what's being talked about. And it's sad that a lot of these famous people have lawsuits against them, period.
Compensation and creative opportunities. This lawsuit even compares Perry to some other infamous celebrities who have been called out for their behavior in the past. Quote, just like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Kevin Spacey, Roger Ailes, and many others in the industry, Mr. Perry's success has led him to believe that money and influence can get him whatever he wants. That belief slowly transformed into the false idea that Mr. Perry can get whomever he wants. According to the lawsuit, Dixon was working as part of an event staff at a party that Perry was hosting in Atlanta when Perry noticed him and offered him the chance to audition for a part.
So he was working at an event staff, and allegedly I'm hearing that Tyler asked for his number, and he might have made the connection with the person for the event staff and connected Tyler to Mr. Dixon to Tyler. So, but I think they're basically saying in the lawsuit, Mr. Perry asked for his number, and that's how the connection happened. Let's continue. So he was an event person acting, but I guess he had been trying to get into the business. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
For this hit TV shows. Before we get back to this bombshell lawsuit involving Tyler Perry, I want to bring you a law and crime legal alert. If you received a Depo-Provera birth control shot and were later diagnosed with a brain or spinal tumor called meningioma, you may be eligible for a lawsuit. Our partners at Morgan & Morgan.
Wait. Fair use reaction clip. Be kind in the comments, y'all. Be kind in the comments. It's sad that there's these alleged even allegations, y'all. It's sad. Okay, let's continue.
His event staff job, through which he was hired to work at Perry's parties in places like Los Angeles and Jackson Hole, Wyoming. As Dixon spent more time with Perry, he says that Perry would flirt with him through text messages, and his advances became more aggressive. Dixon claims that he was invited to Perry's Georgia home, where he and Perry drank together. When Perry told him he was too drunk to drive and offered him his guest bedroom, Dixon says he accepted. But then he claims that while he was asleep, Perry climbed into bed with him and tried to initiate sex. Dixon says he tried to distance himself from Perry, but he was offered a role on Perry's show, The Oval. The lawsuit then reads, Dixon did his best to tiptoe around Tyler Perry's sexual aggression while keeping on Mr. Perry's good side. Mr. Perry made it clear to Dixon that if Dixon ignored Perry or failed to engage with the sexual innuendos, Dixon's character would die in the next season. Indeed, Dixon's character, Dale, was shot 4 times in the chest at the end of his first season on The Oval, and Perry always held this over Dixon's head, implying that Dale would survive if Dixon kept Perry, quote, happy. According to the complaint, Perry had made it clear to Dixon that he would kill characters in order to get an actor to be loyal or obedient. During the pandemic, Dixon says Perry convinced him to stay in one of the houses that was part of Tyler Perry's studios. Quote, in or around April of 2020, and while Dixon was living in the studio homes on set, Perry often coerced Dixon to drink alcohol and then get on the phone with Perry. Perry would frequently have someone drop off alcohol at Dixon's door. Perry would eventually turn these phone calls into sexually explicit.
I didn't know he was dropping off stuff at his house, though. And allegedly he tried to offer him a car, or he bought him a car. That's not the first time we've heard that too. Some of the similarities in regards to Christian and him in regards to offering cars. And Tyler has offered other people cars to help assist. He's been known to help people in the industry where he feels that they're struggling, and he tries to help them anonymously. But that he's allegedly dropping stuff off at his door. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Rants. Perry would get frustrated with Dixon and tell Dixon that he was not giving Perry
Thanks
quote,
for
what
being
he
here.
needs. Dixon's refusal to succumb to Perry's sexual advances caused Perry to be ever more frustrated. Eventually, Perry warned Dixon that if Dixon told his castmates about the harassment, Dixon would be opening himself up to lots of, quote, questions and foolishness, and demanded that Dixon not discuss any of their conversations with his castmates. Dixon's lawsuit also listed out some of the sexual commentary by Perry that Dixon claimed he experienced while filming The Oval in 2020. This is what he says that Perry told him. Dixon said that Perry told him, quote, that he liked being choked. That was after Dixon's character was choked by a cast member in a scene on The Oval. Perry also allegedly said, why do you twist your hips when you walk? How can I get a day of Dixon? When will you be thick again? I love how I feel right now, but I don't like being horny.
How can I get a day of Dixon? No boss should ever be flirting with an employee like that, ever. Fair use reaction clip.
Sorry for the first person who flirts with me, and I've been trying to put that energy somewhere else, but everything is sexual on this stuff. The lawsuit also contained numerous text messages from Perry to Dixon, some of which seemed to have been sent when Perry was intoxicated, and if Dixon didn't respond according to the complaint, Perry would hound him. Dixon also claims the harassment turned physical. Quote, on multiple occasions, Mr. Perry sexually assaulted Mr. Dixon, including one instance where he forcibly pulled off Mr. Dixon's clothing, groped his buttocks, and
between the 3D scan and getting analyzed.
Fair use, let that commercial go past. You pulling down somebody's pants? No. You're a boss. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Like the video. Don't forget to subscribe.
To Dixon's wrists. Mr. Dixon was only able to escape after de-escalating the situation by abruptly changing the subject. The day after the assault, Mr. Perry called and texted Mr. Dixon relentlessly saying, tried you, call me, and I really need to talk to you. Please call me as soon as you can. And finally, when Mr. Dixon answered Tyler Perry's call, Mr. Perry profusely apologized for the sexual assault while blaming it on other things. Perry continued, quote, he didn't know why he would do that. Maybe he was self-sabotaging. On the very same call where he apologized for the sexual assault against Dixon, Perry told Dixon, quote, and don't worry, we're going to do your show, referring to the pilot that Perry knew Mr. Dixon had desperately wanted to produce. Shortly thereafter, Mr. Dixon got a call from Perry's lawyer saying that Christmas had come early and that Dixon was getting a substantial raise and the show was greenlit. Perry's attorney explicitly warned Dixon not to tell any other actor on the show about Dixon's raise because no other actors were getting a raise, only Dixon. Later in the lawsuit, Dixon's lawyers write, in or around April 2022, before beginning to shoot the next season of The Oval, Perry called Dixon to discuss the June 2021 sexual assault. On the phone call, Perry lectured Dixon about how Dixon was overreacting to the sexual assault because of prior sexual assaults in Dixon's life. Perry said that there was a misunderstanding and miscommunication and that Dixon needed to say no stronger. In other words, Perry blamed Dixon for the sexual assault, claiming that Perry felt that Dixon's no was really a yes because Dixon did not say no strongly enough. Dixon says he finally, quote, woke up to the fact that Perry was allegedly stringing him along about working with him on his own show to keep him around to be sexually harassed. In 2024, Dixon reported Perry's alleged conduct to the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. According to the lawsuit, after reporting the sexual harassment, defendants, which is Perry and his studio, did not make any investigation into the complaint and did not take any steps to prevent further harassment from occurring. Because defendants took no action to prevent further assault or harassment, Dixon had to quit his job working on the last season of The Oval. Dixon did so even though he was under contract to finish filming and stood to make close to 400.
So he did file it with the EEOC. That's good to know. When I first listened to this, I didn't catch that. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
$1,000. Dixon did not want to be sexually harassed or be placed in danger of a sexual assault again. Defendant then retaliated against Dixon. Defendant told Dixon if he quits and told the other actors why he quit, he would be in breach of his contract. Defendants told Dixon that the only way out was to portray his departure from the show as a medical leave due to the emotional distress caused by the sexual harassment. Instead, defendant made the leave of absence unpaid and therefore terminated plaintiff's employment, causing Dixon additional loss of income and insult. But Tyler Perry is fighting back. In a statement, an attorney for Perry.
Hey, you guys, why is it black? I'm sorry. I'm at an appointment, but I had to get out this video. I had to get out this video because I have other stuff to do. That's why it's black. I thought it would show the icon but I guess I didn't have any pictures of Tyler Perry in my memory card. But yeah, it's black because I'm at an appointment, but I had to get this video out. If you did not check out, I did a video earlier this morning about Diddy. It was about 30 minutes long. Go check that video out. I had to be here, so I'm waiting. This is a long wait. I don't know what's going on, but I knew I had about a 30-minute, 40-minute period before I had to go into my appointment. So I'm here, but I'm just awaiting, and that's why the screen is black. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Let's continue. I've done a black screen before when I had to come to this appointment about a month ago. So let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Reportedly said the allegations are a, quote, scam. The attorney went on to say, we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail. The attorney, who according to TMZ is identified as Matthew Boyd, said in full, this is an individual who got close to Tyler Perry for what now appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam. But Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail. Joining us now is former federal prosecutor and president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, Nima Rahmani. Thank you for taking the time, as always, to be with us here on Law and Crime. I know we're still gathering information about exactly what Derek Dixon is accusing Tyler Perry of, but from what we know right now, how strong of a case does it seem that he has?
Chris, thanks for having me. Really breaking news today. Bombshell lawsuit against Tyler Perry, and information is coming in, but it does seem to be a strong case, at least in terms of the text messages. Sometimes in these sexual harassment cases, really the harassing behavior happens behind closed doors, and it's a he said, or he said, she said, or she said type situation. But text messages are fantastic, whether you're a prosecutor or a civil plaintiff's lawyer like I am, and looks like Dixon may have the receipts in this case.
Yeah, he's looking for $260 million. Even though Tyler Perry is a billionaire, that's still, in terms of net worth, just from what I've been reading online, $260 million is a lot of money. What does that tell you? And when someone sues someone, like in this instance, it's not a criminal case, and you're looking for a specific amount of money, what goes into determining what that is?
Yeah, lawyers can say all sorts of things. Really, ultimately, what matters is what they ask the jury for. So they can ask for less or more during closing arguments. So I usually put that aside. It gets a lot of good headlines, but I can't imagine this case being worth 9 figures. Sexual harassment is wrong. No one should be subject to it. And sometimes you get these nuclear verdicts or runaway juries, but I can't imagine a case like this going for that amount, even though, like I said, I don't condone any of this behavior.
No, and Derek Dixon, he has some text messages that that very much show. I mean, if Tyler Perry was someone who was supposed to be professionally his boss, that was going to open up career opportunities, it's not something that a boss would be allowed to say to an employee if that was their relationship. When it comes to this case, what's the bar that Derek Dixon would have to prove in court to get money from Tyler Perry?
So there's a few different claims, and they're all very serious. I'm not trying to downplay any of this. There's a sexual assault, right? Grabbing his buttocks, pulling his underwear down. That's pretty serious stuff. And then there's sexual harassment. What I say is really the worst kind of sexual harassment, which is the quid pro quo. That means, hey, if you perform sexually, I will help your career. And if you...
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, I realize the screen is black. Like I said, I'm at an appointment. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's continue. Fair use. We're just reacting to lawyers talk about the case, the concerns of the case, and what's going on. Fair use reaction clip. Let's continue.
I'm going to retaliate. And the argument here is that Dixon was going to be written off the show if he didn't comply with these sexual demands. So, when you go to law school or you study employment law, that is the textbook quid pro quo sexual harassment. This for that. You give me something, you get a benefit. And if you don't, you're going to be punished.
And Tyler Perry, I mean, he is an institution in Hollywood. He's not the type of person, if you were an actor, that you would want, you wouldn't want to be on his bad list. Their relationship started around 2019. The most serious incident, according to what we know thus far, is that incident where he was said he was only having, Derek Dixon said he was staying at Tyler Perry's guest house in Atlanta. He was only wearing underwear, and Tyler Perry apparently pulled his underwear down. That was back in 2021. It's now 2025. What do you make of the timeline that it took for Derek Dixon to come forward with these allegations if they're true?
Well, that's one of the arguments the defense always makes, right? Is, well, if you were sexually assaulted or harassed, why did you stay? Why didn't you report it right away? What I love as a plaintiff's lawyer is a contemporaneous report. So hopefully they have that. I understand he's been getting therapy since 2020. So if he mentioned this to his therapist, that would certainly be helpful. In addition to the text message evidence that we have.
Cabinets to Go can design a beautiful, high quality.
Like the video, fair use. So that's a good thing that he's going to counseling. It's a good thing he reported it. So there's trails there. Remember how we've been saying in regards to certain cases, there's not a lot of trails. It seems as if Dixon was hoping that things would not end up the way that they've ended up, but they have. And that in itself is a huge, huge concern. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Famous individual. And look at what's happened. Perry's lawyer came out and said, this guy's lying. This is a shakedown. This is extortion, right? They always go after the victim. And we don't know if the allegations are true in this case or not, but very few sexual harassment cases are reported or litigated. And oftentimes the harassers, they get away with it. So, if you read the lawsuit in this case, it's definitely meant for public consumption. It has those text messages embedded in, and it starts and ditties of the
Okay, you guys, sorry about that.
Certainly alleged in this case, but sometimes people don't want to come forward because if you're a victim, you're gonna have to really tell your story in a very, very public way. What is interesting though is under California law, he could have filed as a John Doe or a Jane Doe, and he chose not to. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, what does that tell you? Because in some ways, I could see if I was the defense to say Derek Dixon wants some notoriety. He's not a household name. He hasn't been in a lot of high-profile shows. He was in a couple Tyler Perry shows. But if you're the defense, do you look at that he didn't file as a John Doe and say, look, this is proof that this was a shakedown, which is the term that they've used?
Look, it's interesting. Obviously, the fact that he didn't file as a John Doe, that's not an argument that the defense can make, but really, and I've sued a lot of celebrities. I'm sitting here in Hollywood right now. I've represented some, but sued a lot more. So I've handled a lot of cases like this. Most of the time, the victims will come in, and when I explain what a lawsuit entails, they have pause, right? Like, oh my God, people are going to come after me. They're going to drag me on social media. They're going to call me a liar. I'm never going to work again in Hollywood, right? After making an accusation like this. And I tell them, there are certain circumstances where you can file as a Jane Doe or a John Doe. And most of the time, the victims do want to avail themselves of that protection. Now, sometimes the defense lawyers, they hate it because they think that it allows, the victims to smear the defendants. Even in the Diddy case, in the civil case, some of the judges have unmasked the victims. And obviously that's in New York law and federal court, a little bit different, right? But in California, the protection is pretty broad. And most of the time, the victims do want to proceed anonymously to at least protect themselves and their families.
When it comes to, and as someone who has represented people who have been in the seat that Derek Dixon sits right now, where they say they have been through something traumatic and they are going after a very strong and powerful person, you look at that $260 million number, the timing of this coming out. Tyler Perry has this show, it's a movie Straw. It's the most popular Netflix movie of 2025 thus far. 50 million.
Told y'all he's been doing a press tour for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. Did he know about the actual lawsuit? Yes, no. Many people are wondering. He might have known. It takes time to file a lawsuit in regards to someone filing a complaint. So he might have known. Here I am, a huge, success in regards to Netflix, and here's this lawsuit. And like we said, he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We can't confirm or deny if these allegations are true or false. But if I did not mention, let me mention, Tyler Perry lawyer did speak out stating that the allegations are false and this is a scam. That's what Tyler Perry lawyer said. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Yes, I know the screen is black. I'm at an appointment. But I appreciate everyone for being here. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Views in its second week. And then here's this lawsuit that comes out. The defense might look at that and say, well, you're being opportunistic. But at the same time, if you are suing someone powerful, how much does the timing factor into when you unveil this lawsuit?
There is a PR component as well. Litigation is about leverage, and I would be lying if I didn't consider that. I've come on Law and Crime, and I've talked about lawsuits, I filed against Kanye or Lizzo or any number of celebrities, right? Because it can put pressure on them to settle. Now, sometimes they dig in their heels, and, that's what judges and juries are for. But if you are trying to advocate on behalf of your client, whether it's a confidential settlement demand, a mediation, or litigating it in the court of public opinion, it matters, right? Look at the Justin Baldoni Blake Lively case. That case is almost as much outside the courtroom as it actually is in the courtroom because, everyone cares about the reputation in Hollywood. And whether it's cancel culture or just bad press, it can force a defendant to settle. So that's a tool that you have to use if you're a plaintiff's attorney representing victims like this.
How likely is it that the plaintiff's attorneys had spoken with Tyler Perry's representation ahead of this news coming out today?
I think it's very likely. There's 2 types of lawyers, and I don't know this particular lawyer personally, but I can tell you that most of the time, a lawyer will send a demand, right? They'll send a demand, they'll enter into negotiations, they'll break down, and that's what will happen. In Cassie's case, there were, pre-filing negotiations with Diddy's team, and they ran out of time. I personally don't like doing that. For me, if I'm going to take a case, I'm taking it because I believe that it's a righteous case and I'm going to file a lawsuit. I don't like to bark if I'm going to bite. But again, it's a personal preference that I have. There's all sorts of problems with the pre-litigation demand. They say that this is a shakedown, this is extortion, this isn't about justice. So personally, I like to file my lawsuit. I don't ask for a specific number. I say, what? I'm going to talk to the jury when the time is right, because that helps, avoid the defense's argument that this person's asking for $200 million and, he's never made,
But in a lot of lawsuits, we normally see an amount. And that's where, people kind of get the clickbait. Oh, this person is filing for this amount. So we get that the amount seems large. But if this person feels that they've had concerns where they work, we get why there's amount. Now, he handles his cases different, and that's fine. We get it. But a lot of people are shocked about the amount. But Tyler is a billionaire. And if these allegations ring true, it's a concern. We can't confirm or deny. He's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Like the videos, you guys come in. Yes, I know the screen is black. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Let's continue. Fair use. Later, I'm wondering if it'll allow me to put a picture. Maybe not. When I get to where I need to get to, if I'm able to put a picture up, I'll put a picture up. other phone is at a different location. So fair use. As long as y'all can hear my voice, we're just talking about Tyler Perry. Many people are speaking up, speaking out, and saying they're concerned whether this is true or not. Bosses kind of flirt with their employees, but they shouldn't be. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
More than $200,000 in his entire life. I think he's saying the loss of earnings here is $400,000. You know, where you're getting at this number is astronomical. So, you know, you avoid some of that bad press and that backlash by just filing your lawsuit and moving the case forward.
And with that, considering Dixon is not, he's not a millionaire. He's certainly not in the same financial category as Tyler Perry. How much money does it cost him to keep this going if Tyler Perry wants to fight back?
Well, these cases, we handle our firm on a contingency fee basis, which means we're not getting paid hourly. We get a percentage. So if we take a case, we believe that we can win and we can collect. So most lawyers who handle these cases work on that basis. Some of them will charge hourly. The reason we do this is that way we sort of have skin in the game and we're working side by side with our client. Because you're right, it can be very, very expensive to pay lawyers. So again, talking about other cases that are happening right now, my estimate for Diddy's daily burn, you know, to litigate his case is probably $100,000 a day, somewhere in that number or close to it. So it can be very, very expensive to try a case. That's why, unless you have significant financial means, many of the victims, they do decide to, you know what, let me hire a lawyer, let me pay them a percentage. That way I'm not out of pocket in this case.
Because then I think, and I was thinking about Diddy because he is facing all those civil lawsuits as well. And even if some of those lawsuits don't hold up, it still costs money to have an attorney argue on your behalf in court. On Tyler Perry's side, and I'm sure he has a team, he probably has an entire law firm at his disposal with the money he has. But financially, from his side of this, what does the cost look like in pushing back? And you also wonder, I don't know this for sure, but if this is...
So I finally got my claim from my car accident.
Fair use reaction clip. Like the videos, you guys come in. Don't forget to subscribe. What do y'all feel about what's being talked about, what's being said, what the allegations are? Kind of concerning, but we can't confirm or deny if what's being said is true or false. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Hold on. Like the video.
Financially for Tyler Perry, look at this level.
Well, it can look bad. So obviously, like you said, Chris, I expect that Tyler Perry has a small army of lawyers on retainer. And there's going to be individuals that have experience handling employment cases, employment defense lawyers. This is what they do all day, every day. They're going to handle the case. And I expect them to be part of some big firm here in Los Angeles or in Georgia, where Tyler Perry lives, even though the lawsuit's been filed here. So, you know, when you're talking about other victims, though, that is a real...
It blinked out. Hold on. What happened to you, buddy? Hold on.
I'm not saying these allegations are true, but if they are, Chris, oftentimes abusers abuse more than one victim, right? Obviously, in the Diddy case, right, everyone came out, almost 100 victims. But even Weinstein, right, that's what Me Too is all about. It's not just me. There's other people that were affected and were harassed. So if the allegations are true and now we're Tyler Perry, I would have big concerns that, you know what, other people are going to come forward and it might be a snowball type effect.
And just reading through the text messages that we have just read within the last hour of recording this, I mean, they're pretty damning. You know, even if the allegations aren't true, to see what Tyler Perry was texting someone who he had promised jobs to, like, it changes the way someone may view Tyler Perry if you're a fan of his work. What type of conversations would his legal team have if it comes to settling this case or continuing forward and fighting it, knowing that more text messages potentially could come out?
I would have serious concerns if Tyler Perry is indeed sending text messages talking about wanting to expletive, you know, people that are subordinates, right? That is what you are not supposed to do. And then everyone's supposed to go through sexual harassment training in California. But like, as someone that has done defense work in the past, I mean, I would cringe as a plaintiff's lawyer, victim's lawyer. I'm like, wow, this is smoking gun evidence. It's bad. You can't be talking to your employees or people that are under your supervision about sex. You can't be grabbing them. I mean, this is some of the worst employment conduct that can happen aside from there being actual penetration. So he's got pretty significant exposure. If these texts are real, I would be very concerned if I were Tyler Perry and his defense team.
Because then on the flip side, if you settle this, it doesn't go away. Then it's like, because I think in Diddy's case with Cassie, he settles that lawsuit, and then suddenly everybody says, well, he actually did this. There was obviously evidence with the tape in LA in his situation. But what are the concerns if your client has to settle in hopes that it goes away, knowing that just the headline that you settled the lawsuit is now out in the public?
Yeah, that's what I prepare my clients for. I'm like, listen, you know, if there's a settle.
Should Tyler settle? Let me know in the comments. Should he settle? Or is it a good thing that he wants to fight it to the end? Will he say, yeah, I flirted a little bit, but I never touched in any form or fashion? And do you have proof? You know, fair use reaction clip. Should he settle? Are you guys surprised he didn't settle and this got leaked out? And the comparisons in regards to what's going on in regards to the trial with the diddler and the allegations there even with that situation, he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We can't confirm or deny if Diddy did any wrongdoing. A court's going to have to decide that. But a lot of people are saying, dang, Tyler, we're surprised you didn't, settle. But he may say he wants to take it all the way. Would you blame him? Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
And people are going to think that it's a payoff and that it was righteous. So sometimes these defendants, they care about their reputation more than the money. They make you go get a judgment. So there is the very real possibility that, this lawyer and his client are going to have to go all the way, because it's not about, millions of dollars for Tyler Perry. It's about his reputation. And he might just push this case all the way to trial to clear his name, right? I mean, that's what happened in Johnny Depp Amber Heard, right? It was about clearing Johnny Depp's name, or, Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively. It's about their name. I don't think Blake Lively needs money from Justin Baldoni, right? Her and Ryan Reynolds are reportedly worth $1 billion. But I think they're trying to send a message, and they want to make sure that their reputation is pristine in Hollywood.
Knowing that this lawsuit just dropped within the last hour, what does the timeline look like until this? If he wanted to take this to trial, how long could that be away?
So this case is in federal court in the Central District in Los Angeles, which tends to move a little bit faster than state court. State courts here are notoriously backed up, 18 to 24 months. We may get a trial in 2026, so that's pretty fast. It's certainly not going to happen anytime soon. The parties have to engage in discovery. So that means written questions back and forth that have to be answered under penalty of perjury. There's depositions, which is a recorded interview under oath. So if we get a trial, in early or mid 2026, that's pretty fast for the civil justice system. But we're probably looking at later in 2026, if I were guessing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see just how this story, over someone.
So there's that. If there's an alleged trial, it'll probably be in 2026, 2027. Will he settle? Would you settle? Do you think what is being alleged is true or false? Like we mentioned, Tyler Perry's lawyer has spoken out that the allegations are false and it's a scam. So concerning, you guys, many different media sources that have YouTube pages or podcasts, they're speaking out saying, Tyler's friendly, but him being a billionaire, would he mess up his reputation to flirt with someone? And think about it. We really haven't heard much from Christian. Where's Christian? And did his project move forward, get halted? Remember how frustrated Christian was when he did his live, which was a post and delete. He became frustrated, and Christian's brother was in the chat saying, chill out, bro. And Christian had said he kept audios of concerns. Anytime somebody was flirting with him, he was concerned about things, he kept audio. And you could actually hear the person's voice. And you would know who it is. And they would break your heart in regards to of what they said to alleged Christian. If this rings true, what do y'all think? Are billionaires in certain companies just going too far, being inappropriate with their employees? And is this teaching a lesson to other billionaires? You need to chill out, because you could be the next alleged person that's getting a lawsuit against you. Maybe Mr. Dixon was kind of nonchalant because he knew this is unacceptable and I'm going to have to keep notes, messages, and at some point, if it becomes too much, the Oval is no longer. So that, he's no longer on that show. But, other people have, we don't know. And like we said, a judge, jury is going to have to decide. We can't confirm or deny if this happened. We can't confirm or deny if those are really Tyler messages, because you could literally change a person's name contact right now if you wanted to. So if it is true, if it rings true, it is concern. But I appreciate you guys. I've made it to where I need to be. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. Let's do the disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. I hope you guys were able to get a lot of good information. Go ahead and go over to Don Lemon's podcast. When Don Lemon is speaking with Jason Lee, Don Lemon is speaking with Charles. It's interesting what Charles is thinking and feeling and how he's looking at this situation where some people are questioning, could this be factual about Tyler? You're a millionaire. Why would you press up on a young actor? And why would you risk your reputation making accusations that's being told. It's all alleged. But thanks for being here, everyone. I hope you have a great day. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. This is the other thing. Just the other day, was it Monday, Tuesday? We were wondering who's the next to allege have be investigated. We were wondering Monday, Tuesday. We said, who's the next person that's going to be investigated? And who might catch a case? And lo and behold, on Thursday, Tyler Perry's lawsuit comes out. On Wednesday, Tyler Perry's lawsuit. Or was it Tuesday? Whatever day it was. Tyler Perry lawsuit came out this week. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys have a great day. No, nothing I do is garbage. Don't be disrespectful. I hope you guys learned a lot. The lawyer was able to give a lot of great information. I'm at my appointment. I'm about to go in. I wanted to do a live, and I appreciate you guys for being here. We did do a live in regards to Diddy this morning, and then this was a live in regards to Tyler Perry. I hope you guys learned a lot in regards to what the lawyer had said. Thanks for being here, everyone. Be blessed. Have a great day. Goodbye.